Welcome to Mr. English KJ.
Click on the link that is given in the video description. When you click it, you will go to this page. Let's learn 20 most important skills in English. These 20 skills will make you a native English speaker. We will try 20 questions, and from those 20 questions, we learn 20 most important English skills. These are not just plain grammar. These will help your communication skill as well. Look here, there are 6 levels, and based on your score, your actual level will be decided. If you score between 0 to 25, then you are a beginner level or A1. If you want to become a native speaker, then you need to score between 91 to 100. What's a native speaker? It means your English is equal to a British or an American English speaker. Once you are done with the quiz, you can get a free certificate. All you have to do is to talk to us using the chat bubble. You will see chat bubble right here on the website. You need to talk to us, tell us how much score have you gotten. How can you do that? First, you need to log in, and before login, you need to register. When you register, you create a username, and that username will decide your progress. Whatever score you get, it will be updated on your username ID, and in future, if you take more tests, it will keep growing like a game. And after login, you can see your score here in the leaderboard. Let's begin. Grammatically correct. She watches TV every evening. This looks promising and grammatically correct as well, because it is called a present indefinite or present simple tense, and the rule matches. She's watching TV every evening. No. You see this? It is an abbreviative or short form of would or had. Now the confusing part. Is it a would or a had? Well, it is easy to determine. If after would comes verb first form, then it is would. After had comes verb third form, then we call it had. But here we see ing form, and there is no rule in English where after would or had we use ing. So we know it is wrong. She watching TV every evening. Well, another incorrect one. Because after subject, she, we need to use any verb like is, am, are, was, were before ing. For she, we use either is or was. But here there is nothing. So after she, we cannot use an ing form. Again, it is incorrect. She watched TV every evening. This looks promising. It is correct and incorrect at the same time. Some people consider it correct, some people consider it incorrect. Well, if we talk about grammatically, the grammar rule, this one is the correct one. Because after she, in present indefinite comes verb first, ses. And here we are using only verb first. So it is incorrect. But there is a hidden meaning behind it. When I say she watches TV every evening, it means it is her routine or habit to watch TV every evening. When I say she watch TV every evening, it means I'm talking about an imaginative or hypothetical situation, which is not real. I told you would solve 20 questions and learn 20 key skills to become expert in English. though you may have learned several here, right? The key skill here is the depth of English. As you can see, most people know about this one. It's rare people to know this. The reason that it is a skill, it means you think that you know English, you learned it, but actually it is not true. There are so many things that you don't know. So keep working, keep learning, and keep growing. Here, the correct one is this because everyone prefers this one. It is grammatically correct, but lots of people criticize it. Lots of people don't accept it. That's why we don't go to this option. Which is the correct prescriptive and formal English? The question is asking which out of these options is the most authentic, most old-fashioned, correct English grammar, the pure English grammar. I have been to Paris last year. People use this one, but it's incorrect. The present perfect tense doesn't come with a definite time. When there is a definite time like last year, yesterday, a few hours ago, we cannot use present perfect. We should use past simple, past indefinite. So, for spoken English, you can say, this is correct. Sometimes people use informal way, some people use this, but if we talk about the prescriptive and formal English, like the authentic professional English, we don't use this one. I'd gone to Paris last year. It is similar like the previous question we have done where the option was she watching TV every evening. It is same. I gone. I and we third form. Doesn't make sense. We have to use something between like has, have, had. For I, we use have or had, not has. But we are not using it here. That means I gone to Paris. Incorrect. I goes to Paris last year. It is same. We are doing the same thing here. I goes to Paris last year. Because with I, we use go in present indefinite. There is no rule in English where we use I goes. Incorrect. So the correct one is this one. Why? Because it is past indefinite or past simple, you can say that. I went. I and verb second. So for definite time, we don't use present perfect, we use past indefinite. The key skill here is difference between casual and formal English. You must learn this skill, you must have this skill where you know that where to use the simple English, where to use the common English, what English you are using is not professional. Which is correct? You must see a doctor, you don't look well. It already looks that this one is correct. You must see a doctor, you don't look well. Again, same, right? Well, the difference is here. So, wrong. You must to see a doctor, you don't look well. Again, same, but here, to. Always connect words, sentences, paragraphs together. Like here. You must see a doctor is correct. You must see a doctor is correct. But when you connect it to the another sentence, you realize, oh no, I cannot say this thing, but I can. That is how when you listen someone to speak, you must connect. That is how when you read, you must connect one sentence to another. That is how you understand everything. Which is the correct one? If it rains, we will cancel the picnic. Grammatically it is correct. When we make if conditional sentence, there are 4 conditions. We call it 0, 1, 2 and 3. We use present tense here and future tense here or any future modals. This one falls under the condition 1. I'm not teaching you this. If you want, I can make another video. If it rained, we will cancel the picnic. The second condition says it should be past here and a past here, but past future. Meaning to say, will's past form is would. So if we use would here, it falls under second condition, but we didn't. That's why it is incorrect. If it rains, we won't cancel the picnic. Doesn't make sense. Of course, it is similar to it grammatically, but if it rains, we won't cancel the picnic. Does it make sense? Who says that? It is just like the previous question where we connect things. Because if you say like you want to go to a picnic, like the grass is here, you enjoy in picnic with your basket, picnic basket, and the sun, and you enjoy. But you are saying if it rains, we won't cancel the picnic, meaning to say you stay there. Even if when it rains, your food is getting drenched, but you stay there. Who does that? Who does that? No one. That's why it doesn't make sense. If this option isn't there, we might try this one, but that is not the case. So, wrong. If it was raining, we will cancel the picnic. Again, similar to this one, because here there is past, here there, and here it should be past future, means would. What skill have you learned? The plain old grammar. Grammar is the king. If you do not know grammatical rules, you make mistakes. The surprising thing is, even native speakers make mistakes in conditional sentences. So you see, if you learned it, you know something better than a native speaker. Now, how to solve questions like this? Well, it's easy. What you need to do, these are the pills, these are the options. You just click on that and drop it there. Click, drop, click, drop. What we need to do? Convert the active sentence into passive voice. And the sentence is here, that is the active. Maria succulently wrote the letter to her sister. Maria succulently wrote the letter to her sister. In order to solve a passive, what we do? We change the object, the letter, in position of the subject, and we move the subject at the end in place of the object. Then comes the verb, wrote. Past indefinite, what we do? We make it was, were, plus verb, third form. That is the passive. Let's try to pick and solve. So first we need the letter. We put it there. Then we need was. If we use was writing, it will be wrong. Put written there. And the last, by Maria. We are done. We have done the passive. Simple, right? Now, the skill. English language, not English subject. What does it mean, English language, not English subject? Simple. What I mean by it, most people study and use English like it is a subject. But you must understand that it is a language, a way to communicate. So in real life, we do not need to use by Maria in passive. In your books, you usually see when you convert active to passive, at the end we use this, by Maria. But it is wrong. Because the reason we make passive is that we do not know the subject, we do not want to mention the subject, or we are making scientific sentences. Okay. In your grammar books, you see this because they are teaching you. But in real life, in speaking, writing, everywhere you don't need to use the subject here, by Maria. What is the correct and English language type sentence, the letter was succulently written to her sister. That's it. That is the pure passive. But if you make it a subject, you try to cram it. Okay, here the rule comes, this come, that come, and that is how we do. No. Understand the importance here. Let me tell you how. What do I mean by English language, not English subject? If you are cramming it like, okay, we move this object here, we move this subject here. Understand the meaning behind it. Why? Why are we doing this? Let me tell you. Suppose that there is a counter. Okay. Let's take example of iPhone. I have seen that there are queues of people, a long line to buy new iPhone. Every time it happens, right? Let's say the company told that we can only form one line. All of you should follow and make one line. The person who is on the top, who is on the first one, don't you think he gets the priority because he gets the iPhone first, right? So anything that is on first, that is on top, gets more priority, right? If we talk about hierarchy, like someone is the leader, like top, then there are three, then other people under it. So this person is on the top, is first. That's why he or she gets priority. Same way when we make active, Maria was on top. Maria was the first. So she was getting all the attention. She was getting the work. Who wrote the letter? Maria wrote the letter. Who? Maria. So Maria was important. But when we make passive, we do not give importance to subject. So we remove it. We put it at the end, meaning to say, we throw this person who was on the line first at the end. As you can see, the person felt important, like, okay, I am important, I am getting priority. But the moment you throw that person to the back, you do not give priority, you do not give importance. Whom we are giving value or what we are giving value? The letter.
In bracket, the real definition of collocation is given. It is like a hint for you. So let's test the options. Make homework? Come on, it doesn't suit at all. Put up means to display, and it doesn't go naturally in this sentence. Do homework. Make sense? Correct. Weigh means to determine the weight, like how many kilograms. Skill, collocation. It is a skill itself. You don't just learn words or grammar or phrase. You must blend them naturally together. Put off means postpone. So we clearly know which one is the correct one. Skill, phrasal verbs. I know you all face this problem where you try to remember words but cannot. What you should do is to connect words together. For example, put plus off, we know put and we know off. Now, off means cancel, but there is also put. If it was written throw off, then it may sound like transfer or cancel, but there is put. Put off is like, we still keep it, but off the table. So we keep it, but cancel it for now. This way, you break the words down and understand them. You can learn more like this. Put on, put up, put down, put through. So you never face the issue of forgetting vocabularies. Mark my word, you will thank me later, once you master this skill. We look for formal, like professional, and concise means short but related. So we first remove all the long phrase and keep only short. Then remove casual words and keep only formal. About verbals. After to, we use verb first form. Skill. Habit. Practice that much. Repeat that much. It becomes your habit. I told you in question 1 that when there are extra verbs in the same sentence, we use ing, third form, or to plus first form. In this case, verb third form makes more sense. Do not assume it is a past tense, okay?
We need to find the word that connects, okay, that makes sense. Let's learn the vocabulary a little bit. Vague. Vague means something is not clear. Makes sense. Because the manager's explanation was vague, was not clear, means we still have questions, we still have doubts. Why do you still have doubts? Because it was unclear, it was vague. The skill is vocabulary building. You need to work on your vocabularies. Build vocabularies as much as you can. Simple skill or most important skill.
Choose a sentence that is past but gives a present result. Meaning, to say something happens in the past, but its effect goes in present. If I had means you did not actually do it. So, I did not learn French at school. How would I become fluent or master in French? So even though it was a past decision, it still affects my present. Because would is used as a present. Would have verb third makes it a third condition, but the meaning would not give present result. So with if, past, and after comma, present is correct. Incorrect rule. We need past perfect, not past indefinite. No present with if for this question's answer. True learning. True learning only comes by true teacher. You'll never get this sentence unless you understand English language. For example, you threw a stone and it hit on a person's head. The act is done, but he is still injured. Past action, present result. Find the most conclusive and summarized option that gives out most of the info. Planting tree matches, but gardening is not planting. Planting tree and people mood matches, but not most info, so wait. Most of it matches here. To improve environment's well-being, less summarized than the option 3, so incorrect. Skill, conclusive, getting a skill to short and summarize a big sentence or paragraph into key words will make life easier. You might suffer from this problem, where you try hearing or reading English, but unable to connect or conclude. The skill where you create shorter version in your mind to remember lengthy lines will truly help to master the language.
What can you infer about the pastries? Infer means give conclusion. So it is similar to the last one. But it is not asking summary. It is asking specific about pastries. Hardly found elsewhere. Hardly found elsewhere. Negative words like hardly, seldom, rarely, few, scarcely, little, never makes sentence sounds negative. Like here, hardly found means not commonly available. Okay, it's not commonly available. So let's take a look. They are common and sold in many places. No. They are special and commonly available. Special is correct, but commonly available is incorrect. It's not commonly available, it's hardly found. They are unique and not widely available. Correct option. Not widely available, not commonly available. They are small and ordinary and hardly found. They are small and ordinary and hardly found. Small and ordinary is used for cafe. But the question specifically asked about the pastries. Wrong. Wordology. Wordology is the skill that you can master. See, in English, normally there are not too many words. Like we all think that English has so many vocabulary, so many words. They don't usually have many words, but they do create more words from another language or by adding letter in front or back of the word. For example, here they add ly with recent and created another word recently. Tumble, fumble, bumble, tumble, mumble, crumble, rumble, humble, and many more. In all these words, the part umble, see the part umble. Umble means a progress stops because of interruption. Check these vocabularies and understand that all words have something related to the definition of umble. A progress stops because of interruption. Just like that, there are other words here too. So try to find it common ground in words to understand them better without wasting your time, cramming, mugging them up. If you want, I can make a separate video explaining wordology deeply. Which sentence is correct and give an idiomatic sense? Idiomatic sense means old English or literature like writer or poet's English. Seldom, hardly, rarely, few, scarcely, little. If we place them here in place of seldom and create a format like this, it is called an idiomatic sense. Okay? Why? Let's learn. What would be the normal English of this one? That is normal English. But we want to make idiomatic sense. So we put it here, we put the had here like this. And it becomes an idiomatic sense. Of course, it sounds like an idiot way because we can make a simple sentence, but now we want to make this an idiomatic sense, right? The point is the option 1 uses a literature sense, makes it more formal, gives strong focus or emphasis on seldom. Meaning to say, if I make sentence like this, or if I make a normal sentence putting had here then seldom here, then it shows it's a normal sentence. But when I switch them and put them in first place like here, it shows more focus, giving more strong emphasis, pressure on the sentence. Okay, like the same way I explained you the iPhone example where someone is standing on top in passive voice, we are giving more importance to that person. Same way when she is at first, so we focus on she, but now seldom is at first, so we give high priority, importance and everything to seldom and had. Get it? Good. Seldom she hadn't seen such commitment from a team. Most important rule you will learn from here that in actual English we do not normally repeat things. It means seldom is already a negative word and hadn't comes with not also, meaning I told you these are negative words, but there is another not and another not. Seldom is also showing negative sign, hadn't is also showing negative sign. So negative, negative, positive. Okay, the minus, minus, plus, negative, negative, positive. So this sentence becomes negative, negative to positive. Okay, now you wonder, why did we make such complex sentences? Because it is commonly used by reporter, writer, or people who want to hide their true intentions. It is part of Old English and very good one. Because you are actually saying something negative but in a positive sense. Like we can say to politician, you are not uncorrupted. You are not uncorrupted. What does it mean? Not means negative, minus. Un means negative, minus. It becomes positive. Meaning to say, you are corrupted. Still it is incorrect because the idiomatic sense says had should go here. But it is after she, so wrong. Same thing happened here. It should be here, but no. Seldom hadn't see such commitment from a team. Similar, right? But look carefully, there is a catch. See, it's verb first form. But with had, we use verb third form, which is seen. So, incorrect. I'm sure you have learned a great deal of new things in this question. But still, the skill is the logical concepts. Like the mathematical minus minus plus used here. Same way a logic of sequence used here. Whoever or whatever stands in front or in top one gets more attention. You remember the iPhone example, the one who stands on top on line first gets more attention, right? Same way you can see seldom came at first, that's why it gives more emphasis, more pressure on the word seldom. But if it after his third missed deadline, the manager said, "Excellent! Punctuality clearly isn't a problem here." The manager's remark is best described as, we need to understand the expression. A literal praise, it does not sound a praise at all, does it? No, wrong. Distressing, a distressing remark. Distressing express sadly emotion or incorrect. An ironic criticism. Okay, focus here. After missing the third deadline, it happened 3 times. The deadline missed. After missing the third deadline, so clearly they do not want to miss deadlines. Okay, so the manager roasted by saying something which completely means opposite. He praised, then commented on punctuality. He praised, excellent, punctuality clearly isn't a problem here. It's a criticism, in irony and criticism. A fervent motivation. Fervent means a glowing passion. So fervent motivation, a glowing passion, it doesn't make sense. There is no passion here, right? So the correct one is the skill we learn, expression. One of the most hardest and easiest thing in English. Hardest when you try to learn it using wrong techniques. Easiest when you turn your daily life into a natural English environment. Once you learn expressions, you almost become like a native speaker. Listen this audio clearly.
Yes, we'll work on it and tell them to improve their productivity. About the meeting, I suppose we could schedule it earlier, but only if everyone can make it. And I wouldn't hold my breath. You know what I mean. Let me know what's been decided.
Go through the audio again. You need to play the button here. Okay, all you need to do is play the button. The question asks specific about the possibility of having earlier meeting. The speaker is pessimistic and expects it probably won't happen. The speaker doesn't have much hope and expect the less chances of the meeting to happen. It is correct because he said, "I wouldn't hold my breath" means not expecting anything to happen. It's an idiom. The speaker got nervous and fainted because of holding his breath. That cancelled the last meeting. Hold my breath. Since it is an idiom, it actually doesn't mean that someone held his breath. So, incorrect. The speaker is optimistic and expects it will happen soon. There is a not with would. So, incorrect. The speaker is eagerly waiting for the next meeting. No, wrong. Learn idioms. They are a perfect way to present your skills. For example, like here, hold my breath means you are excited that something is about to happen. When you make negative by adding not, it becomes opposite to it. So rather than using simple words, you use idioms and it shows your knowledge and intelligence to others. Best tool for impression.
I will tell you only once, so listen carefully. First, you should copy the template to the shared drive. Second, rename it with today's date and do not forget to notify the team by email with the link. Finally, move the old files to the archive folder and you are done.
What must you do immediately after naming template? What is the immediate next step after rename it? Notify the team by email with the link. We notify by email. Name it using correct date? No. Move the old files to archive folder. This is the last step that comes even after step of naming. So, wrong. Copy the template to shared drive. This is prior or a step before naming. So, wrong. The correct one is notify the team. The skill you will master is listening skill. Keep practice by listening more and more content in English, and it would be best if you listen native speaker and you actually repeat things from what you have listened.
I suppose we could try the new manager's idea, though I don't undoubtedly believe it will address the root problem.
What speaker most likely feel? Skeptical about the ideas? Skeptical means in doubt. Like I taught you, negative, negative, positive. So in question, not undoubtedly means doubted. So this one, correct. Have faith and confidence? No. Enthusiastic and fully supportive? No. Doubtful belief? No. Another important skill. Key points means it always happens when you do not know few things in sentence. So how do you still understand it? There comes key points. For example, you did not know the double negative point, not undoubtedly. Still you can manage to understand and find correct options. How? Key points. Notice the words suppose, could, try, though. Suppose means imagine something that you are not sure about. It gives a hint of doubt. Could is a modal verb which expresses less possibility for something to happen. Means another key hint giving a doubt. Could try. You have not accepted or started or applied. You are just trying, not sure. The most reliable and important hint is though. We use like but, although, however. All these words show some restricted opposition of what you have said earlier. For example, I'm happy though I'm still poor. Here we said earlier that we could try the new ideas, so definitely something will go opposite because of restrictions or control. Hence, the opposite of trying the new idea is not trying. Clearly indicates you have doubts. See how important are key points? A task is given to us. You need to take a day off next Friday for a medical appointment. Write a short email, approx 40 to 70 words to your manager requesting the day off, giving the reason and suggesting how your work will be covered. Okay? You are writing a formal email here by using these options. Read this note. Fill options in the blank based on the rank 1, 2, 3. Okay? Based on the rank 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3 here and 4. Okay? So 1 means all options of 1 supposed to be here. Okay? Any one option, of course. 2 means only pick option where is number 2 for this one. And same goes for 3 for this one and 4 for this one. Okay? Since it's a formal email, you must write it professionally. Okay? The subject says request for leave Friday 30 April. Friday 30 April, remember. Hello Dennis sir. This one is the most formal. You know why? Because a colon is more formal than a comma. Okay? And hello is more formal than hi. Again, another most formal one. Okay? I'm writing to request is the most formal and best practice out of these. It is conscious, formal, precise and related. Not others are. Thursday. because here it is written by. By means before. So before Friday is Thursday. Fourth is handover. The most suitable and related word is handover, not transfer. Okay. These are the options. And here you need to fill them. The skill you learn here is professional writing. Important skill to master. It has many uses like writing an email, letters, application, contracts and many more things. So focus on your professional writing skills. The English seems rather hard even for a native because of its shortened describe less version. Let's see. Here comes the although, because it gives a restricted opposite sense. Why? Read this. Risk becoming mere rhetoric, demands precious obligation. Before comma is the opposite of after comma. Okay. Before comma is the opposite of after comma. Read carefully. This is before comma, this is after comma. And that's why although makes sense. Is will go here. Okay. Why? We use present because the whole paragraph is in present. But why is, not are? Controls is definitely a plural noun and uses for buttons. Listen carefully what I said, okay? Go back to 5 seconds. Pause. Did you listen? Did you listen? I said controls is definitely. I did not use are. I said controls is. The reason is simple. That I am not using it as a number. I am using it as a name. It's a special case in English. For example, Luca is my friend. Lucas is my friend. Both are same. Even though I am using S here, that doesn't change anything because both are name. Same way, controls is used as a name here. Okay? Because if you notice, it is under quotation. A special case. Same thing is hard to understand in spoken English but easy to in written. One more example. 1 is a number, right? If I say 1 is a number. And if I say 50 is a number. Both are correct, right? Even though 1 is one value and 50 is 50 value. But we are using it as a name. And that's why we use is. Give the most suitable phrase that describes the paragraph above. Based on whole, actions speak louder than words makes more sense. The phrase means act more than talking. Do something rather than talk. Skill is subject-verb agreement. You must learn this topic and also consider English as a language, not a subject. Dilapidated is like dull and outdated. Okay? Did you see the resemblance? Dilapidated. Did you see the resemblance? That is how you can learn difficult words and definition. Because the actual definition of dilapidated is. Can you remember that or this part that I showed? Decide yourself. If you merge all those 20 skills that you have learned, you can do what I do. We use which when we talk about anything but not person. But there is also another option that we can use that. It talks about a sign. Sign is not a person. If something is in between comma, like start with comma and like this, it shows that something is unimportant. It's not important, it's extra information. For extra information, we always prefer which over that. That's why we use which here. Okay. would, because the same sentence is in the past and we do not use will, may, shall in past. Okay. Inevitable. It means unstoppable. Read a sentence before the third and after the third. You will understand why inevitable makes sense. It is asking come what may. What does it mean? Okay, you need to read what come what may makes sense. What come what may makes sense here. And if you know the phrase, you can directly choose it. If you don't, do the same thing like I taught you. Find key points and it will help you. The skill is reading skill. You must focus and work on your reading skill. Okay. How should you read? Skim through whole paragraph at once, meaning to say quickly read and pick up important things. The words like dilapidated, generations, stewardship, neighborhood and so on. Based on your skills, these type of words are given to make it hard for you to remember or wasting your time reading. What you should do, skim. You should learn to shorten the words and to ignore what is not needed. But the most useful skill will be picturing. You can create pictures in mind based on what you read and get on. That way, you will remember all. After skimming, solve each blanks one by one and read a sentence before and after the blank to make sure. Here I told you all 20 skills, but there is one skill that left. Speaking skill. I'm unable to check or test your speaking skill here, but we can do by joining my Discord. All you have to do is to search on Discord Mr. English KJ. The link is in the description. What you can do, you join the Discord, you can talk to us, you can share your English problems and we will help you. Okay, no charges. Now we are going to submit. Okay, once we submit, you will see what I was talking about at first in the beginning. Okay, we have submitted. So these are some students, some people who have taken the test, that is called the leaderboard. Your name will be here. Okay, if you logged in. If you are not a login user, it will show like this, guest. Okay, and it's hard for us to know who is who, but you can create a username, then it is easy to track your score.